Plus, when we get to Bucks and Badger football and Badger basketball season, we're going to do Bucks basketball, then we're going to do Badger basketball, and then we're going to do Badger football.
All right, that works.
Because then we'll bridge it. So, alrighty, welcome back. Another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Today we are going to be talking mostly about the Milwaukee Bucks. If you are interested, last night we covered the Green Bay Packers win against Pittsburgh and previewed their upcoming matchup at home against the Carolina Panthers. So check that out from last night. Today we're going to be talking about the beginning of the Bucks season. They started 3-1, so we'll have 4 games to discuss, and then we're going to do our abbreviated recap with the Badgers football team and no preview because they're off this week. So we're going to hit the intro and get into basketball.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Alrighty, so as I said, 4 Milwaukee Bucks games. That's what we're starting with. I had to leave the show early last week because I was actually going to be in attendance for the Milwaukee Bucks season opener. It was exciting to get to see Miles Turner's first game in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform officially. So that was cool, being a guy that I wanted on the Bucks for so long. So I will let Jake go first, and then I'm going to say some stuff, and then we're going to bring some photographical evidence into this as well.
No, hold on. We're not just going to gloss over this. You got to see the home opener for the Packers. You got to see Micah Parsons' home debut, Matthew Golden's home debut. I mean, you got to see that. Then you get to go to the Bucks home opener. I mean, we're not just going to gloss over this like you're not the luckiest guy in Wisconsin right now. I mean, I'm super happy for you, dude, honestly.
I bet I'm not the only person that was at both, but I bet I'm one of a small handful that was at both.
It's you, dude. A small handful. I'll give you that. They're Green Bay, Milwaukee is a pretty good hike between.
I bet it's like 100 people.
Ooh, that would be good to take a poll. That's a good poll question, bro. Honestly,
I mean, you figure 80,000 people can fit into Lambeau.
Yeah, but home opener. A lot of the season ticket holders aren't selling tickets on home opener day, man. That's all I'm saying.
But I mean, like the reason that I had tickets to both is because I know somebody who is a season ticket holder for both.
I would love to know the amount of people that have season tickets for both. That's a good point. I like that. Really just wanted to bring that up. Also, you got to see the return of Chris Middleton to Milwaukee, so that was
cool.
So I'll get into it right away. Bucks win this one, 133-120. Everybody knows the final score, and Giannis dominates. He has 37, 14, and 5, goes 16 of 26 from the field. He hits a three-pointer. He started the year hitting a couple threes. Overall, Gary Trent Jr. was good. I thought Miles Turner was good in his first Bucks game. Now, obviously, the percentages, you can look at percentages all you want, but his impact was felt in this game, especially defensively. I love great pace from the Bucks offense. Looks so much more fluid with the addition of an extra point guard, in my opinion. Sucks that we didn't get to see KPJ too much. He got hurt early, only played 9 minutes, but he scored 10 points in those 9 minutes. He was 3 or 5 from the field. He caught a body and hit a couple three-pointers, so I was like, holy shit. Kevin Porter Jr. is out for blood this year, is what I was thinking in the first couple minutes. Defense is so much better with the ability to switch everything. If the Bucks get off to a fast start, they will be trading for the one thing that this roster is missing, and that is a wing stopper. These are the notes that I wrote down after the game. I'm going to be adding in some player notes as well, and then I'll give some totality notes. Wrote down for Miles Turner, I love his energy on defense. The shots will start to fall. He baptized a dude in his first game, which I was so excited for. I was like, dude, having 2 guys being able to baptize you, and then one of them can shoot the 3. Now, people are watching the game, and I'm seeing some people say some stuff like, why did you just do that pump fake and jab step? Do you not know basketball? Do you not understand basketball?
That's 2 of the most common moves in a basketball game.
Exactly. So I love his ability that people have to close out on him when he pump fakes and he jab steps. That pulls attention away from the paint, which, by the way, we have a guy who likes to shoot in the paint. Don't know if you understand the X's and O's of that. Gary Trent Jr., I love the fire. That's the one thing that I really, really appreciated about him. He always plays hard. He hustles on both ends of the floor. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's pretty thin for how tall he is, but he gives maximum effort. And that cannot go unnoticed. I will not allow that to go unnoticed. AJ Green, his legs look fresh, and the shots were falling because of it. He's going to have to continue to work on a little bit of individual defense stuff. His team defense, I thought, was lacking last year. He seems to be, kind of, in tune with everybody. I think the Bucs defensive play style fits this roster much, much better. Being able to pressure the ball. What's up, Taylor? Being able to pressure the ball and then get on offense and shoot a bunch of threes was awesome. Now, we got to talk about a guy named Kyle Kuzma. I thought he was awesome. And I thought he played really good defense. He was helping. He was help side defender a lot when he came in. He was pressuring the ball. He had active hands, active feet. He was rebounding. He was running the floor. Honestly, just be a rim runner this year. I don't need you to shoot a bunch of three-pointers. If that's not your game, that's not your game. Now, when he's on the floor with Giannis, he's going to need to stretch the floor, obviously. That's going to be his role. That's how he gets into those crunch time situations. But also, upping your free throw percentage, because his free throws were bad last year. Being able to be a defender and running the floor, helping on the defensive boards, that is where his impact is going to be made. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 50% from the field. 2 of the misses are from three-point range, so 5 for 8 from the 2-point range. I thought he was really, really good. Now, one of the last things we'll talk about here is Ryan Rollins and Cole Anthony. Now, Rollins had 9, 4, and 3, 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 6 and 3. Cole Anthony had 9, 2, and 5 in his Bucs debut, 4 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. I wrote down this combo could become a beat off the bench. Both will play hard on both ends of the floor. Ryan Rollins, a little bit better defender. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. He has that length advantage on Cole Anthony, but Cole Anthony is much more under control on the offensive end. Yeah. So that's why I wrote down that this combo could be elite for the Bucs off the bench. Now, obviously, we know I get it at this point, but we know now that Kevin Porter Jr. hasn't played since the first quarter of this game. But those three together could be a three-headed monster.
Yeah,
I'm very, very excited for them.
So I'm just going to jump in on the point guard thing, because with Cole Anthony and Ryan Rollins, and obviously when Kevin Porter Jr. is back in the fold, we're going to see 2 out of those 3 on the floor together at times.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of Cole Anthony playing a little bit more point guard and Ryan Rollins playing some shooting guard. I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Bobby, the thing that he needs to not do is not settle for fadeaways when he's not hitting jumpers. That's going to be kind of a theme.
Yep.
It was good to see Taurean Prince efficient in his minutes. He was 3 for 4 from the 3-point line, 4 for 5 overall, at 12 points, 2 assists, a rebound, and a steal. If he's going to give you that kind of efficiency off the bench in basically the same numbers he was giving you as a starter last year, if he's going to give you that exact same production from the bench, then it's a great call to move him to the bench if he's going to give you the same level of production. And he's going to become a much more important role player than a perceived bad starter. The opening few minutes told me that Giannis doesn't have to be the leading scorer, as in he doesn't have to be the guy to start the scoring for the Bucs.
Yes.
The first 2 baskets came courtesy of Miles Turner. And then the first was a Gary Trent, Miles Turner pick and roll, and Miles Turner hit AJ Green in the corner for a 3. The next one was a cross-court drive by Kevin Porter Jr. and a cross-court kick from Miles Turner for another corner 3. And then Kevin Porter Jr. hit the Bucs' 4th 3-pointer. It was also assisted by Miles Turner. And the Bucs had a 14-4 lead at the 8:32 mark, and the Wizards took a timeout. Giannis didn't score his first points in this game until the 7:50 mark.
He still finished with 30.
Still finished with 30. I will say the refs were bad. The refs were really annoying. Miles Turner was called for a really soft moving screen. Taurean Prince should have had a charge. Giannis had an oop that should have been an and one because he got pushed while he was in the air while the ball was being passed to him. So, if he was going up for an alley-oop in transition, that would have been called a shooting foul. That should have been an and one, not a side out of bounds. Giannis was not getting calls in the third quarter, so he decided he was just going to start dunking everything. And then calling fouls for guys fighting through screens, calling fouls on regular contact. It was annoying, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But by far my biggest takeaway is Kyle Kuzma. The thing that I had the most to say about is just because Kyle Kuzma was traded for Chris Middleton doesn't mean that we should be expecting 18-5-5 out of Kyle Kuzma. He's a different player. We've talked about the trade itself, why it was made to get access to the 2031 first-round pick, to get out of the second apron. He's not as good of a shooter as Middleton. Obviously, we know that. Middleton was one of the best shooters in the league for 5 years. He was a 3-time All-Star. Like, it's not a secret that Chris Middleton was good or a good shooter or a good scorer. But Kyle Kuzma is younger, healthier, more athletic, taller, also being paid $15 to $18 million less and being paid a descending amount of money next year. So all of that aside, I think Doc Rivers used him well. I think he fits the role of the backup point forward. And I think my biggest takeaway of this, of having him basically be Giannis's backup, is he's playing like great value Giannis. So when Kyle Kuzma comes in off the bench, you don't have to change your play style that much, which makes a lot of continuity for the other 4 players that you have out there with Kyle Kuzma and Giannis. So I think that's a big deal. And then with him being able to shoot just well enough to create a hard closeout so he can drive and kick, his first touch was a corner driving kick to the other corner for an AJ Green 3. His second touch was a hockey assist that ended in a Kevin Porter Jr. 3. He can also lead the fast break. He can go on an outlet that ended up in a 3-on-2 and a corner 3 for Cole Anthony. He blocked a shot, fired ahead to Amir Coffey that turned into a Ryan Rollins 3. Like these things, I want to talk about them because I literally have the video of it. But like, if we're looking at this stuff, it's there. Like it's not hard to see that these things are important. So starting with the driving kick from Kyle Kuzma, like
bang out.
That's the stuff you want to see.
Drawing
How many
2.
sets of eyes are on him?
Yeah.
All 5. We see that from Giannis, and I'm not saying that Kuzma is Giannis. I'm not saying that at all.
Yep.
But great value backup Giannis, he has a similar enough play style that everybody else who plays with them, doesn't matter if it's starters or backups, can do the same things.
Yep.
You keep the continuity. That is a big deal. That makes it so much easier for everybody else on the roster that you don't have to change the way you play offensively when Giannis is on or off the floor if you have Kyle Kuzma out there running.
Yeah.
You can do everything else the same. Obviously, there's going to be just a smidge less gravity because Kyle Kuzma's not commanding the gravity that Giannis does. But, I mean, it's right here. There's 5 sets of eyes on Kyle Kuzma as he drives the ball.
Yeah, he's getting our best 3-point shooter, a wide open 3 in the corner, bro. I mean, I don't even know if you can debate what you're saying right now. That's perfect.
Okay, so that's 1. This is after Kevin Porter Jr.'s injury, obviously.
So Cole Anthony's in the game now. He's been a pleasant surprise, not only scoring the basketball, but with his distribution, his assists. Nice.
Yeah, that's some good action right there.
That's great basketball right there.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, with Taurean Prince being efficient in his role.
Yep.
And if he's going to do that off the bench, then we're good. We're real good. Okay. Again, this is the one that I mentioned with Ryan Rollins pushing the ball to Kyle Kuzma and then him finding this. Not the best pass in the world, but good enough. Again, you see this stuff from Giannis. You literally see this type of stuff from Giannis. Giannis puts the pass a little bit better on point, but, I mean, that's the kind of stuff we see from Giannis.
Yep. No, I just want to point something out. This play doesn't work if Bobby Portis isn't demanding respect in the paint and the spacing isn't good here. So you see right here in this freeze frame, this is perfect. Guy floats to the corner. Now you have 2 You have 3 guys trying to guard 4 Bucks right here. And Bobby Portis demanding respect in the paint because they're not going to try to give up a little gimme. Now, like I agree with what you said, not the greatest pass in the world, but it was effective enough for a shot to go in. George is just screwed in that situation, honestly.
Yeah.
He's giving up.
I mean, like, tell me if Kuzma's not wearing number 34, that you couldn't see Giannis do this exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Next one. I have more from the Wizards game than anything else, but this is just smart basketball again. Off of a jump ball, and this is Kyle Kuzma and Ryan Rollins kind of teaming up on this, but you can see them kind of setting it up that Kyle Kuzma, if he wins this jump, that he's just trying to slap the ball towards the Bucks basket, and it works out because Ryan Rollins gets a leak out and a layup for it.
Oh yeah,
that's just smart basketball in my mind.
I agree.
This is again, it's more Kyle Kuzma. This is off of a block. And a hockey assist. This is the new Bucks offense right here. The push, go fast, get the ball at the floor offense. This is the new Bucks.
Much more fluid.
That mama's the Mia right there.
Yeah, it almost feels a little Brewerish. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of little name / no name guys kind of coming together as one powerhouse with a big name in the middle of it.
I can see where you're coming from on that. Okay.
I mean, having the Milwaukee across the chest kind of helps.
That's true. So this is good defense, starting with that. This is the Bucks. This is the new defense, essentially. They're doing a lot of switching. A lot of switching.
And Brook Lopez is never above the free throw line in this situation. He's dropped down already in the paint.
He's standing in the dotted circle, just stepping a foot over the free throw line, just enough times to not get a defensive 3 seconds.
Yep.
And still occasionally getting defensive 3 seconds. So Miles Turner is going to unlock a lot of things defensively for the Bucks. To be able to switch to Chris Middleton and AJ Green ending up on Alexander Sarr. And then Gary just being Gary and knocking down a tray. That all happens in a matter of 14 seconds.
Yeah. Get a length switch, hard to see over the top, make that pass over the top, get a turnover, run out, everybody's spacing is good, get a pull-up 3, splat up. Yeah, that's nice.
in a matter of a handful of seconds.
I love that.
And then the last one that I'm going to put up here for the Wizards game is I would say, something that has been kind of part of the philosophy since the Bucks had Pat Connaughton. This is I'll say a lasting legacy of Pat Connaughton right here is faking screens and doing other stuff off of them. Pat Connaughton did a lot of the inverted type screens, but Gary Trent Jr. is just going to go put some hands on a guy and then immediately run away from where he was, quote unquote, setting the screen and turn it into a wide open 3-point look because Keyshawn George is not paying attention. That's a smart offensive play. And if you're playing against a young team, you spam that until they figure it out.
Yep.
And we'll take all the open Gary Trent Jr. threes we can get.
Yeah, if you want to leave number 5 open, you're in for a long night. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's move on to last Friday, and let's talk about Bucks and Raptors.
Yeah, so to start this game, I was kind of thinking like, oh, man, where's Kevin Porter Jr.? How bad is his ankle? It was announced he was going to be out for both road games. Giannis ended this game. I'm going to say the Giannis stats every game because he's honestly amazing, and I feel like that's only going to help his MVP agenda. 31 points, 20 rebounds, 7 assists, 11 of 14 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. There's nothing this man can't do. Nothing. He is amazing. Now, the Bucks start the year with back-to-back games shooting over 50% from the field as well. Wanted to point that out. They did have 19 turnovers in this game, so I'd like that number to go down a little bit. That would be nice. Miles Turner, offensively, again, couldn't really find his rhythm, but he was getting shots up. Gary Trent Jr., 20 points. He was on fire, obviously in an old arena that he used to play in for a couple of years, so he knows those rims pretty well.
Yeah.
AJ Green only got 5 attempts at the rim, made 3 of them, so not upset with that. Ryan Rollins. Now, what I wrote down for Ryan Rollins, he needs to find consistency from the three-point line. That's going to literally open up another universe for Ryan Rollins if he finds consistency behind the arc. I'll have some more notes on that later, but excuse me.
Can I jump in on Ryan Rollins real quick? Because I wrote a couple small notes about him.
Go ahead, buddy.
I want to see him pushing the ball fast. That's when he's at his best, in my opinion. I mean, he got a big old dunk in this game, which was exciting.
Yep.
But he's good going to the rim, and I think he's good at finishing while he's at full speed.
Yeah, I agree.
think he's good at that. What I don't like seeing him is in like a dribble pull-up game. I just don't think that's his game.
No.
I think catch and shoot and downhill towards the rim with speed. I think those are where he's at his best.
So he's a modern-day basketball player, shooting threes and shooting layups.
I mean, he's got the speed, he's got the length. And his defense is such a big asset. That's why I think he's starting over Cole Anthony, who I would argue is a better guy to be running your offense.
Yes.
I would say Cole Anthony is a better point guard, but with the ceiling of Ryan Rollins' potential, I think he's got the potential to be a better basketball player.
I would agree with that as well. Obviously, it came out today that Ryan Rollins has been watching a ton of film with another guy who has double R, Rajon Rondo.
Let's hold on to that because I have something to say about that specific situation. So
okay. Yep.
Put a pin in that.
Yes.
Last thing on Ryan Rollins before I let you continue is his defense being such a big asset. He had 3 steals and a block in this game, but he has to pass better. He had 3 turnovers in this game. You brought up the turnovers. He's leaving his feet to pass too much.
Yes.
And he's trying to needle passes into, the threading the needle too often. And when he's doing that is when he's off of his feet.
And
so
I
you
feel like
give yourself no options. So you can't, pull it back and don't throw that pass if you're in the air.
Yeah, and I feel like he's putting himself in some really unnecessary situations every once in a while too. Like you said, I think him putting himself in those situations and then jumping is him trying to give himself a better lane to throw the ball, and he's just not helping himself out.
Yeah.
And obviously that hurts the Packers as well. The
Bucks.
The Bucks.
Nice.
My fault.
And he's got the length to pass around guards. Like he doesn't have to try to give himself that extra space. Like you can reach way up here. Like you don't have to leave your feet to pass to get around somebody.
Yeah.
Obviously, unless it's a center or something like that. But that's not when it's happening all the time.
Right. So talking about Cole Anthony, he had the game of his life so far in his Bucks career in this one. I wrote down game 2. I really love the pace they are playing at. A little sad we're not going to get to see KPJ for the next 2 games, including tonight. Rollins was good. Cole was elite. He was a tough shot maker. He played with really good pace. He was setting people up all night long. He ended up with 7 assists, 9 of 14 from the field. He made some really, really tough layups in clutch time as well. Gary is going to need to keep the pedal on the floor because his ability to run the floor on the offensive end, force the offense to kind of come with him. He kind of sets the pace a little bit, I feel like, because he gets down the floor so quick and he wants to just – when he touches it, he's not afraid to shoot it. He'll shoot that motherfucker. And his ability to stretch the defense makes Giannis's life a little bit easier, obviously, pulling at least one guy down there that can't hack Giannis for a no call from the referee. We could talk about that all night long. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is I think Prince is close. I think Prince is really close to being a really big impact player. I saw a lot of people bitching about Bobby Portis this game. He needs to move his feet a little bit. He's being asked to kind of fit into a different role this year, I think, where they're kind of asking him to be a little bit more of a defensive stopper. When we've seen Bobby at his best is when he's making jump shots, right?
Yeah.
When Bobby's making jump shots, whether that's catch and shoot or the little fade away from the post, that's when Bobby's at his best, when he's feeling himself.
Yeah.
I think he could do himself some favors by shooting a little bit more jump hooks. instead of
Yeah,
always
I
going
agree.
to the post fade.
Strongly agree.
His post hook is good.
Especially when he's got smaller dudes on him. He scores on it every time.
He's a big, like, as a basketball player, he's a big, thick guy. He has a good base. He can
is
get down there and
in
get the
love.
hook set off.
He is in love with backing down for 3 dribbles, kicking it out to the guard on the wing, having it kicked back to him, and
Yep.
catching off of the pass and turning into a fadeaway.
Yeah.
He every single time he'll do it. If you kick it out and it gets kicked back in, as he's catching the ball, he's spinning and fading away.
Yep. And I think the other team knows that, obviously. But he can help himself out by doing a little bit more jump hooks, because then you set up the post fade, right? You got to, with the post hook, you got a guy coming into your chest. With the post fade, you're going away from them, obviously, the word fade. But he could also help himself out by, boxing out some guys for some rebounds as well. He gets caught ball watching every once in a while. I love Bobby Portis. I'm not here to tear him down. This is just constructive criticism. Taurean Prince.
Some constructive criticism on some decision-making stuff.
Yes. Taurean Prince is so close to being an impact player. A little bit more active hands on defense. If I get a little bit more of this, he's going to be really good on defense.
Put a pin in that.
Dude, I'm so glad that I say stuff and you're like, put a pin in it. I love it. I wrote down again, I still think that Rollins could just open up another universe with a 3-point shot. Because not only does it, he's getting more points for shooting that shot, it cuts down his dribbling, because sometimes he does some nonsense dribbling, I feel like.
Yep.
So finding consistency from the 3-point line, just being a catch and shoot guy. I'm not saying he can't dribble, because obviously he's a pretty good ball handler. He's part of the 3-headed monster that they have at point guard, but cuts down on some of the dribbling, which will cut down on some of the turnovers. I saw a stat during this game that I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't believe that. But then I was like, yes, I do believe that, because he's called the Dairy Bird. AJ Green, during his career, 86% of his shot attempts have been behind the 3-point line. That is the funniest stat ever, bro. Literally all 5 of his shots in this game were behind the 3-point line. So, I mean, it checks out, dude. That's crazy, though. There's no wonder the guy hasn't dunked in a game. He's too busy standing behind the 3-point line. He's not Michael Jordan in Space Jam.
All right. So you talked about Cole Anthony, and he is a true point guard. I would still be interested in him starting. Obviously, hindsight or foresight in the situation now, like what we saw from Ryan Rollins against the Knicks, we'll talk. But I do see keeping him as a backup, because then you don't really change his role when Kevin Porter Jr. is back. When that happens, like I said, I would like to see Ryan Rollins get some time at shooting guard with Kevin Porter Jr. or Cole Anthony as the point guard. I think both of those create some interesting roster makeup. Taylor said this generation of Kyle Korver. That's funny. I like that.
Actually,
I dig it. Except he's 2 inches taller, which is cool. Cole Anthony, he played very well downhill. This was a thing where people were talking about it in the preseason, that Doc Rivers was saying Cole Anthony is living in the paint. Everybody feels the need to be like, oh, well, that must mean that Giannis and Miles Turner aren't doing anything. No, it means that Cole Anthony is good at getting to the fucking paint.
True.
Here we are in the regular season. Giannis and Miles Turner are playing good post defense, and Cole Anthony's getting to the paint. So it doesn't always have to mean that the when we're talking about practices or preseason, that we're not doing something right. It means we have a guy who's good at doing something.
Yeah.
Which in this instance, it's Cole Anthony getting to the paint. Him getting downhill forced Toronto's defense to collapse, which hurt their want to be really physical, because it made them scramble.
Mm-hmm.
Because now they're having to play a bunch of help defense, so they can't be super physical one-on-one because the ball is moving quickly without just passes. So Cole Anthony finished 9 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 on threes, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals.
He was good.
He scored 23 points, and then you have to remember that he found time to get 7 other guys buckets. So that he gets asked, him finding guys in the corners was a big help, ending the first quarter on a 13-4 run. He gets asked about his first 2 games with the Bucks in the post game, and he said, quote, "It feels magnificent." Guy wants to be here.
Hell yeah.
Which I love. So that you get to Giannis, the first player to ever have 60, 30, and 10 assists in the first 2 games of a season. Meanwhile, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the first player to shoot 40 free throws in the first 2 games of a season. But one of them is leading the MVP ladder, and one of them is 4th. He had 31, 20, and 7 on 11 of 14 shooting, 2 for 2 from the three-point line, like Jake said. That's 78.6 from the field. For as physical as the Raptors were trying to be with him, he was too strong, too fast, and too tough for everybody on the Raptors roster.
Hell yeah.
He is too fast for Poeltl, he was too big for Scotty Barnes, and he was too strong for Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Those stats, that 30, 21 or 30, 20, and 7 on that 78.6% shooter, 4th person to ever do it. The other 3, Wilt Chamberlain, Walt Bellamy, and Bob Pettit.
Jesus Christ, you're going the way back machine.
Like before the 3-point line machine.
Yeah, the way back machine. Yeah.
To name 3 Hall of Famers.
I mean, you have a stat. Wilt's probably in it. Honestly,
that's true. That's fair.
So if you're in a stat with Wilt, you're in good company. You're already starting on good company. That's all I'm going to say.
And the last thing, I mean, with the Bucks, I like their toughness, their resilience. They started the second quarter 0 for 7 on threes. The Raptors led by 7. Late in the third quarter, Bobby Portis hit 2 jumpers to get going and to tie the game at 86 to end the third quarter. That was important for Bobby Portis to be hitting those shots. And the important thing with those shots is he didn't have to force them. Yes. They came in the flow of the game. That's something I'm going to say something about a little bit later. Raptors hit 2 threes and an and one. The Bucks had 3 baskets inside the 3-point line. 4 points of those came from Bobby Portis. Raptors got another layup to go up by 5, and then it's Giannis time.
Yep.
He scored or assisted 10 of the next 13 points for the Bucks. Game was tied at 105 and 107, and then the Milwaukee Bucks won the clutch minutes 15-9 with multiple steals. So the Bucks locked in on both ends of the game, got to 2-0, lost Kevin Porter Jr. and Kyle Kuzma late in this game to ankle sprains, and Miles Turner started the first 2 games of the season 6 of 20 from the field, but added 5 blocks. So let's jump into Bucks Cavs. What did you take away from Sunday before we got to watch Packers?
Yeah, so you're coming into this game, you're like, all right, so we already know Kevin Porter Jr. is out. Now we don't have Cole Anthony after his amazing game that he had in Toronto. So the Bucks, I thought, showed a lot of mental toughness in this game.
Or Kyle Kuzma, because he sat out this game too.
And Kyle Kuzma, you're right. Good call. They only played really 7 people in this game. Giannis, Miles, Gary, AJ Green, Ryan Rollins, Taurean Prince, and Bobby Portis are really the 7 players that played like big time minutes in this game. Bucks responded to the Cavs runs, down by double digits multiple times, down by 18 at one point, down by 10 in the second half. They responded, bringing the game within 1. So the mental toughness of this team is different. So when Giannis is talking before the season saying that we're not the favorites, but we're going to be dangerous, he is absolutely spot on.
Absolutely.
Rollins and Gary Trent Jr. struggled to hit outside jumpers all night, which really kind of hurt the Bucks.
Yeah.
AJ Green did have a really good game. He was the one guy that was kind of hitting jumpers 4 of 7 from behind the arc, 6 of 9 overall. He had 20 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. The Bucks just needed one more guy, I think, to be able to put his head down and get to the rim. And that's really where you bring up guys like Kevin Porter Jr. and Cole Anthony. That's where you miss those 2, right? If they have one more guy that could slice the cake, and you could put Kuzma in there as well. I should have put Kuzma. That's a great call by you. That's their ability, and they're able to set people off of that action as well, which maybe could a guy like Gary Trent Jr. get going, right? That could have been the difference. The Bucks are much better than people think. I wrote that in capital letters, much better than people think. Miles Turner, I think he would benefit off a little bit of a jump hook as well. Now, his main job is going to be to stretch the floor. That's going to be his main job with Giannis. But when he has non-Giannis minutes, I think a little bit of a post game would do him some wonders. Just a little jump hook, doesn't need to do anything else. Maybe even just making himself a little bit more available for some drop down passes. Get him some easy
or offensive rebounds.
Right. His defense is so underrated. I knew he was a good defender. I knew he could move his feet. I knew he was going to give us the ability to switch. He is underrated on defense. I don't care what anybody says. Watching him in the jersey that I love, he is hella underrated, dude.
Seeing him a few times a year versus seeing him every game, it shows.
I'm like, damn, like he's good on defense. Gary Trent Jr., I think a pump and a pull-up midi game would do him some wonders as well.
He does it once in a while, but it feels like he only does it at the top of the key is the only place that he goes for mid-range.
I know, but and he's good at it. He's got a smooth jumper. So, if somebody knows, like, I think a little bit more frequency in that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think if people have that in the back of their minds, maybe they don't close out as hard, and he gets a couple more looks from three that aren't as highly contested. Ryan Rollins, God. I just wrote down, why does he have like 2 or 3 silly turnovers every game that I just look at the screen with a blank stare like, why did you just do that to me? And I really like Ryan Rollins. Like, I'll be the first guy to say that I maybe was one of the first few guys on the fan bus. But when I was watching him last year, I was like, oh, he's raw. But he's got length, bro. And he's got a little bit of swagger to his game as well. He ended the game with 14 points, 4 rebounds. He had 8 assists, so he was diming up a little bit. 5-11 from the field, 1 of 5 behind the arc. But he just has some silly turnovers, man, where I'm just like, dude, what the fuck?
And I haven't always been a Ryan Rollins guy. Like, watching him in summer leagues, I did not like his shot selection.
Right.
But obviously now that he's on the big boy roster, he's playing a different role.
Right. He was a two-way player last year, earned his way into a contract. So that if that goes to show his work ethic, I think it does. We need some offensive consistency out of Bobby Portis. That's the first thing I wrote down. I understand that he's competing on defense, and that's great. But having 10 points on 10 shots is not the efficiency that we're going to need from Bobby Portis for the entire season. We're going to need that to be like 15 points on 10 shots. Even then, I'm going to be like, But if he's making 2 of 4 from 3 and he gives me 15 points on 10 shots with the defensive effort that he's putting forward, I can live with that every day. 15-8, or if he's 15-8 on 4 of 10, 6 of 10 shooting, I'm gonna be like, all right, Bobby Portis had a good game today.
Yep.
You cannot blame Bobby. He played hard on defense. He's gonna give up buckets. Most of the shots that he's gonna contest are in the goddamn paint.
No.
He's 6'9".
We've talked about that with Brook Lopez. Like, his defensive field goal possession or percentage was always in the 50s. And it's like, he's guarding centers who shoot close to the hoop.
Yes, and Brook Lopez is smaller.
Yeah.
So, Bobby is smaller than Brook Lopez.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
I don't know. That's really my notes is you have one of the other point guards. I think the Bucks kind of pulled this game out, to be honest with you. The offense is way more fluid than last year. That's all.
Dude, I love the offense so far, to be honest with you.
The offense is so good now.
And I enjoyed the defense this game because, you mentioned the 3 guys they didn't have and not backing down, even getting down by 19 points.
Yeah.
And shout out to Doc Rivers for this, putting them in the zone. They didn't allow a field goal for almost 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That's an insanely long time for the team that finished with a 1 seed last year.
They might finish with the 1 seed this year.
They might. But if they do that to the Wizards or to the Hornets, nobody bats an eye.
Yeah.
People should be batting eyes on, holy shit, the Bucks just held the Cavaliers without a made field goal for, it was like 7 minutes and 38 seconds. It was almost 8 minutes that they did not get a field goal.
And I know people are going to hate to say it. I'm not trying to cut you off, but 118 points, pretty close to what you're going to be giving up. 112 to 118 is where a lot of teams are going to be scoring nowadays with how good people are at shooting.
Yeah. And just the pace of play and more threes.
Yep. They shot 43 pointers. Yeah, they're going to score 118.
Yeah. They went on a 19-2 run, which continued even when Giannis came out of the game. That is worth noting. They went on a 9-3 run with Giannis on the bench. Cavs were up 2 going into the fourth quarter. Both teams traded 10-0 runs. The Cavs followed those 10-0 runs with a 7-0 run that did hold up late in the game, and they ended up winning by 5. But Giannis was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week after the first 3 games of the season. He had 40, 14, and 9. He was so close to having a triple-double. Also had 2 blocks, 2 steals, and only 2 turnovers in barely over 33 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's playing 40 minutes a game to rack up these stats like James Harden was in 2018. Like, if you looked up James Harden's 2018 stats and then you looked up his per 36 numbers, they went down.
Yeah.
Giannis is doing this in like 33, 32 minutes a game. I think he played 28 minutes against the Wizards.
Yeah. That's crazy.
He was everywhere on both ends of the floor. Averaged 36, 16, 7 and a block on 68.3% shooting and made 4 of 6 threes in the first 3 games. Jeez. He was the first player to have 100 points, 40 rebounds, and 15 assists in the first 3 games of the season with those numbers.
Yeah.
Now, the last thing that I will say is this kind of carries a little bit back into the Raptors game, but you mentioned the turnovers. I get that the pace is up, and that's going to increase your turnovers, but it doesn't have to be that many turnovers. 18 turnovers on Friday, 17 turnovers on Sunday, and so those last 2 games. The Cavs turned that into 24 points off turnovers. I need that number under 20.
Yes.
You're talking if the Cavaliers are at 19 points off turnovers instead of 24, you're looking at 113. Yeah. In a game where they played without 3 key players.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move into last night. Now, last night's game was very, very interesting.
Yes.
So give me your thoughts from last night's game. I'll give mine, and then we're going to talk about a couple extra things.
Okay, there's a few things that kind of have to go with the game, but don't really have to go with the game that I'm going to talk about first. First of all, shout out to Zora Stevenson, former sideline reporter for the Milwaukee Bucks. She got an upgraded job, so very happy for her. I want her to be as successful as possible. Just like Brian Anderson for the Brewers, he went on. He's doing some big-time things. I want Zora to do big-time things as well. I love when people that start out with us make it big-time. That's awesome. You could say Kevin Harlan, right? Kevin Harlan, big-time for the Packers. He calls the preseason games for the Packers. His daughter is married to Sam Decker, who's from Wisconsin. So Wisconsin ties all over national sports media. But for her to have twins, and then I believe they said it was the first or one of the first times that she touched the basketball. She goes 6 of 10 from deep. That's crazy work, bro. That is crazy work. She's wearing the heels. I don't know if she was in the heels or flats. Didn't really look that close. But she was in a long skirt. I know that for sure. And she's dropping buckets, holding the follow-through. That shit was awesome. So now something that was awesome to something that's not so awesome. I cannot stand Reggie Miller. I cannot stand Reggie Miller, dude. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to be forced to do it all season long when the Bucks are on Peacock or NBC or whatever it is. But good God, this guy starts the game just talking up the Knicks. The Knicks this. They could be the 1 seed. Maybe they can make it to the finals. They're one of the top teams in the East. There's nothing to say about the Bucks. Now, Jamal Crawford said some nice things about the Bucks, so I appreciated that.
Which is wild. Because between those 2 guys, one of them is a Knicks rival and one of them is a Knicks former player.
Right. And he talked about the Bucks spacing not being good to start this game. And I absolutely agree. The spacing was kind of trash to start this game. But as soon as the Bucks spacing became good and the Bucks started going on a run, what you just heard from me is exactly what you heard from Reggie Miller. Nothing. You heard nothing. No credit. The only time he made noise for the Bucks is when Giannis dunked the ball at the end of the game.
4 times.
Okay, Don, I got that off my chest. Reggie Miller, you suck.
Let me just jump in because one of the things that I have to bring up is from the headlines, quote-unquote, headlines of this game.
Okay.
This is in the middle of the 4th quarter that this graphic is posted. The thing that bugs me here is the super second where the Knicks outscored the Bucks by 13 in the second quarter. Yeah. The Bucks outscored the Knicks by 15 in the 3rd quarter.
What's the graphic?
The Bucks were the better team in the 3rd quarter more than the Knicks were in the 2nd quarter. But let's put the Knicks on here twice because they're New York, and we'll put Giannis on here.
Interesting how that works. All right. So I wrote down that Rollins started the game hot. He had to check out early after, an elbow caught him in the mouth. It is what it is. Wasn't a malicious play or anything like
Nope,
that. I'm not
definitely
saying
not
that.
on purpose. Yep.
Just drew some blood. He had to go back, and then he came back in, and he was in a good rhythm all night. I was actually shocked that when he came back in, he was in the same rhythm. I was like, oh shit,
Yep.
okay, he's locked in tonight. Giannis was Giannis, and the Bucks cut down the turnovers from the first half to the second half, and they played much better.
Yeah.
So Giannis in this game had 37 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 16 of 22. He shot 1 3 and missed it. He had 32 of his 37 points in the paint.
Damn.
He was plus 26 in the second half, bro. Plus 26
That'll play.
in 24 minutes. That's insanity. They had another game where they shot over 50% from the field. Love that. They're getting into their offense early, getting easy shots.
Good call.
They shot 40% behind the three-point line. They won the assist battle. They won the fast break points, 21-9. So I broke down the halves because the Bucks were down a half, right? So in the first half, the Knicks shot 56%, 45% from three. They were 9 of 20 from three. They had 4 fast break points, 4 turnovers. They had 28 points in the paint. The Knicks did in the first half, 14 of them from Brunson. You can't let the smallest guy in the fucking court get to the paint that easy. That's all I'm going to say. So then the Bucks shot 57% in the first half, 43% from three. So you're thinking they're close, right? Bucks had 11 fast break points compared to 4. Bucks had 8 turnovers in the first half compared to 4. They had 26 points in the paint, 14 from Giannis. So you're even almost everywhere except turnovers, which gave the Knicks extra possessions, which allowed them to get a couple shots off. That's where your change is, right? So you get to the second half, Bucks locked in. Now, I know you're going to have more context on this, so I'm just going to say this part. I'm going to leave extra context for you. Field goal percentage, the Knicks shot 29% from the field in the second half.
Yeah.
20% from three. They had 5 fast break points, 14 points in the paint. 14 total points in the paint in the second half. 6 of them came from Brunson. That's insane. The Bucks, on the other hand, they shot 50% in both halves. They shot 51.3%, 7 of 18 from three. That's 38.9%. They had 10 fast break points. 8 of them came from Giannis. 5 turnovers, so they cut the turnovers down by 3. They still continued to push the pace on fast break. They still had 24 points in the paint in the second half. 18 from Giannis. 18 points in the paint, and 8 of those came off fast break, obviously, but 18 points in the paint in the second half, 14 in the first half. The man was a menace last night, and on top of that, my favorite part of the game, my absolute favorite part of the game, against the Knicks, where ESPN is pushing him to go. Stephen A. Smith is pushing him to go, the face of ESPN. He's getting all his buddies lined up to say this. Giannis to the Knicks, Giannis to the Knicks, Giannis to the Knicks. Giannis gets an offensive rebound in the third corner, slams that shit in that zesty-ass boy's face, and says, this is my fucking city. I'm not fucking leaving. That's the best part of the game. I love that, dude.
It was awesome to see Giannis just dunking on everybody.
Dude, he made OG Anunoby look like a midget, bro.
He made him look small.
Small as hell.
Like they traded for him for his defense and his defensive versatility.
Yeah.
And he made him look like Jordan Poole.
He really did.
I'm going to hold the defensive part for a second. Got to give Ryan Rollins his flowers offensively. I was previously looking at maybe Cole Anthony to start, especially after the Raptors game, but he broke out Tuesday versus a good team. Mm-hmm. It would not have carried as much weight, again, if this were against the Wizards or the Hornets. Like, wouldn't have. If we're being honest.
That's true.
If Rollins goes off for a career-high 23 points against the Wizards, people are just like, oh, it's the Wizards. It was against the Knicks. So that's a good thing for him. The efficiency that I wanted from him, he went above and beyond, and I'm not expecting him to go 8 of 11 every game. But if he can go 5 of 11, 6 of 11, make a couple threes, this game he was 4 for 4 from the three-point line, and they were all crucial to the win. Mm-hmm. The first 2 got the Bucks going in the first quarter before he split his lip, and, well, the second one came after, but it was before he went out with the split lip. And then in the third quarter, where the other 2 makes that he had, one of them tied the game, and the next one gave the Bucks a 1-point lead. So all 4 threes that he made were super crucial to the outcome of the game. And then the other thing that I was critical about him were his bad passes. He only had 2 turnovers in this game. The Bucks as a team had 13. That's perfectly acceptable to me. With them playing a faster pace, I'm not going to say they need to have 10 or 11 turnovers. I understand faster pace, more possessions is going to mean more turnovers. Like it's an acceptable part of the game. If you're generating an extra 10 possessions, 10 shots a game, I can accept an extra 2 turnovers. Like it's not that big of a deal. If they're at 13, I'm fine. Now, Ryan Rollins added 4 steals and was credited with 4 deflections, as were Gary Trent Jr. and Taurean Prince.
Dude, I just called that into the real life, dude. Because I was like, dude, if you guys have fans, he's gonna tip some passes.
Bucks were playing the passing lanes, getting the deflections. It's great to see the Bucks defense stepping up. There were several times where Josh Hart and a couple times where Mikal Bridges was bringing the ball up the floor so that Jalen Brunson didn't have to deal with Ryan Rollins full court. Another part of this is great work as a team rebounding against the Knicks. The Knicks did win the rebounding battle overall, but the Bucks were rallying on the defensive boards again, especially in the second half. I will say the second half, the Bucks did allow 12 offensive rebounds to the Knicks. However, they had 34 opportunities. The Knicks, 14 of 48 from the field in the second half. Like Jake said, that's 29%. So there's hella opportunities for them to get rebounds. And they were 4 of 20 from the three-point line. That's 20%. So you're talking 16 missed threes, long shots produce long rebounds.
Yep.
Also, if your shot gets blocked and you catch it, that counts as an offensive rebound.
Yep.
So that happened a couple times. But as far as the defense goes, A.J. Green drew a charge on Karl Anthony Towns in the clutch time. I love that. You look at the matchups, the defense. I mean, Miles Turner, the Knicks were 5 of 14 from the field against Miles Turner. The Knicks were 3 of 14 against Giannis, and they were 3 of 7 against Kyle Kuzma, who deserves 2 extra big scoopings of credit for his defense on Karl Anthony Towns, a guy who is 3 inches taller and probably an extra 40 or 50 pounds on him. Karl Anthony Towns couldn't back him down.
No.
He tried like 7 times and could not back down Kyle Kuzma. And I saw Bucks Realm. He said that Karl Anthony Towns was held to a career low 8 points against Kyle Kuzma. Karl Anthony Towns was actually 0 for 4 from the field when guarded by Kyle Kuzma. The only 2 points that Karl Anthony Towns got against Kyle Kuzma came from the free throw line.
Damn.
And Karl Anthony Towns was 1 of 3 against Miles Turner from the field as well.
That's what it looks like when everybody does their job that they're asked to do. That's what it looks like.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
And now you brought up Miles Turner a little bit earlier. His shooting, I'm not worried about it. He's been a good shooter for a decade. I'm not going to panic about 4 games. His defense is elite, and it shows. It allows this team to play faster.
Yep.
If you think that 4 games is who Miles Turner is going to be throughout the entire season, I would also encourage you to congratulate Taurean Prince on setting a new NBA record for 3-point percentage, as he is shooting 60% on threes right now. So the previous record was the aforementioned in the comments by Taylor, Kyle Korver, who set the record at 53.6%. So if you believe that Miles Turner is not going to start shooting better, I would encourage you to congratulate Taurean Prince. Gerardo said, love Turner, great pickup. Strongly agree. He was my dream addition for the Bucks. Gonna end on Giannis, the only player to have 140 points, 50 rebounds, and 25 assists through 4 games. He had 37, 8, 7, a steal, and 2 blocks. And the last thing with the defense, the Milwaukee Bucks held the Knicks to fewer points in the second half than they scored in the second quarter. The Knicks scored 45 points in the second quarter, 40 points in the second half.
Yep. They had 71.5. Yep.
And the Bucks held them to 40 points in a second half. That is wild. If that's not a indicator that the defense is different and better, I don't know how else to help you.
Yeah.
And I'll leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with another Bucks Realm tweet here. Ryan Rollins is younger than 13 of the 2025 NBA draft selections.
What?
He's 23 years old.
I knew he was 23, but what? Yo. The Bucks cooked in free agency.
They got so much younger, faster, more athletic this offseason.
Wow.
We are in for a much, much different Bucks season.
Dude, it's going to be a really, really fun year. And I'm going to use Gerardo's comment saying they are taking his greatness. He's talking about Giannis for granted. No love for the best player in the world. I absolutely think at this moment in time, on October 29, 2025, now they're going to show highlights of Wemby. They're going to show highlights of Jokic. But Giannis, I think, is the best player in the world. I think the way that he gets that respect from the national media is by winning basketball games, which the Bucks are doing right now. They're playing a much better brand of basketball, which fits around him. I think that he should be in line for his third MVP. I think he should definitely be in the discussion, not fourth. That's not being in the discussion, in my opinion.
No.
But this season is going to be a lot of fun, dude. The Bucks are going to be really fun to watch this year.
Yeah. So between now and next Wednesday, we will have tomorrow against the Golden State Warriors, Saturday against Sacramento, Monday against Indiana, and then Tuesday again against Toronto. So 4 Milwaukee Bucks games between now and next Wednesday again. So we'll have another chunk of Milwaukee Bucks games to talk about next Wednesday. Anything else you want to say?
In Indiana, Miles Turner returns to Indiana, so that'll be a big-time game. Yep. I will be interested. Now, obviously, the Golden State game tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun. The Warriors are starting off the year really nice, too. They're going to be a good team this year. They're going to be competing for the West top seed this year. Steph Curry seems ageless. I mean, I know everybody talks about LeBron seeming ageless, but Steph Curry seems ageless as well.
Yeah. And
I actually saw somebody say this today about Giannis, that his impact with how good he is in the paint is almost the same as Steph Curry from behind the arc. Where he's so dominant.
Yeah.
He's so dominant in the paint that it's like you have to have 5 guys guard him. Yeah. It almost feels like that with Steph sometimes when he's making 8, 9, 10 threes where it's like, do we need to put 3 people on this guy? My goodness.
Yeah.
The thing about Giannis, though, is if you put 3 guys on him, you're probably getting 3 posters in one. So it is what it is. But that game in Indiana, I'd be very interested to see how the fans react to Miles Turner. He was loyal to you for 10 years. He gave you 10 years after all the speculations of him being traded every offseason. It felt like he was loyal to you guys. He was on the team that brought you guys to the finals. I mean, they aren't going to give him the respect he deserves. I'm going to be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah. I will say Miles Turner has replaced Tyrese Halliburton as a Wisconsinite.
Yeah, dude. They could keep Halliburton. I got some things to say about him, but whatever.
All right. Let's hop into our abbreviated Badgers football recap. I know there's not going to be a whole lot to say. I mean, we just don't really have a whole lot left to say about the Badgers football team. So, just give me your takeaway from the offensive line.
Yeah, so going into this game, you're going to Oregon. We talked about it last week. Oregon, they need to Gerardo, I could have said a lot of things. That you're thinking like, man, they need some style points. But the Badgers, they played tough. So in the offensive line, this is easily, and I don't even know if this is a hard decision to make, easily their best game of the year. By far their best game of the year, especially when you talk about run blocking. Easily their best game of the year.
When you add in the extra factors of they were missing 2 offensive linemen and 2 running backs, I mean,
and what they got from the quarterback position, easily their best game of the year. But we finally got to see a glimpse of what this offense could be. I think I'm starting to kind of see the vision a little bit. Maybe I'm just taking a sip of the Kool-Aid, but if you take a step back and you're not emotional about it, and you take a step back and you look at it, which I'm able to do because honestly, feelings-wise, I'm kind of checked out with the Badgers. I won't lie to you. Feelings-wise, I'm checked out.
Emotionally,
yeah. But looking at the X's and O's aspect, I kind of get it.
Analytically,
Gideon, he ran tough. He had 21 for 85. He had 4-yard average. He had an 18-yard long. He did have a fumble, but that was recovered by Wisconsin. But he was running tough. Overall, the Badgers ran the ball 29 times for 110 yards, 3.8 yard average. Now, again, a lot of that was Gideon running tough, but the Badgers' offensive line, they held up against a team that consistently gets 4- and 5-star guys.
That's
So,
number 6 team in the country.
yeah, and on the road. So they were very good, I thought, and the run game blocking.
Yeah. Got to be honest, not a lot of great things to say about the passing game. Danny O'Neal has thrown 4 fewer passes, completed 15 more passes for 166 more yards, 3 more touchdowns, and the same number of interceptions as Hunter Simmons.
All right.
While being sacked 14 times, while Hunter Simmons has been sacked 4.
All right.
There's no question, there's no denying that Danny O'Neal is a better quarterback than Hunter Simmons. And if Danny O'Neal is healthy, he should be out there.
Agreed.
So if he's not playing, that leads me to believe he's not healthy.
Agreed. I think it's time for the freshman.
I concur with that as well. And that's what I would say if the Badgers were playing this weekend.
Yep.
So what did you have for the D-line?
So defensive line, I thought they were really great. Quite clearly the best group on this team. They showed strength. They took up multiple blockers, allowing the linebackers to just run freely. I know you have the linebackers. I'm just going to say one thing about Mason Posa. That guy's an NFL fucking football player. That is an NFL linebacker. That is 1,000%. We used to have like 4 of those on the same team, which is crazy. Now we got one.
Used to do that with linebackers like Ohio State did with wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like it was like this year's third stringer is 2027's starter, and they're just going to like put one in the NFL every year.
Yep. Hey, don't worry. In a couple of years, it'll be your turn to go to the big leagues, fella. That's what it was like.
Remember when Herbig was TJ Watt's backup? Like,
yeah.
Now they're playing together.
Yeah. Posa's an NFL player. But back to the D-line, we have four total sacks. I am kind of dipping into some outside linebackers. Ben Barton, Cheeks, his sack, he just absolutely dominated the left tackle. I was like, holy shit. Rieger, he showed off the motor this game. I really appreciated that. And Aaron Witt has been showing heart all year long, so that's something I really wanted to point out. I love that.
That's my dark horse guy.
They had 7 total tackles for loss. The Badgers did as a defense. 6.5 came from the D-line. Suggs had a 0.5, Cheeks 1.5, Witt 1.5. Rieger, Daryl Peterson, and Barton had 1. So the other half, if you're wondering, came from Ricardo Holman, who got credited for a half as well. But the D-line showed out in this game, and they really allowed the linebackers to move freely. They were getting pressure. They were living in the backfield, and that's what you need to do to become a good defense. Them playing the defense playing the way they did, and the offense run blocking, at an average rate. That's where I'm like, okay, I see the vision. You give me some quarterback play, get these wide receivers involved, which they got a young guy who hopefully stays, Eugene Hilton Jr. They got him involved a little bit. I can see where they're going. I get it. Pay a fucking quarterback.
It's a light at the end of the tunnel kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Like we're coming through the tunnel of what has been the gauntlet schedule that we knew we had, and being like, all right, like it hasn't been fun by any stretch of the imagination.
Yep.
But we can see some light.
Yeah.
Or at least we know what the end of the tunnel looks like.
Yes.
So I can see where you're coming from on that. Now, you kind of mentioned a little bit on the linebackers. Cooper Catalano and Mason Posa are the 2 guys. They graded well. In my opinion, Posa was better. Cooper had 5 missed tackles, but was redeemed on his PFF grade by a pass breakup. Mason Posa only missed 1 tackle and had a hit on the quarterback. So,
and a broken nose.
Yeah. And 2 weeks ago, Christian Allegro played with a broken arm. So, I mean, nobody's quitting. Like, guys are getting hurt, but nobody's quitting.
They're still playing hard, which I appreciate.
Yes, I as well. It makes me feel confident that if Fickle is back next year, which it sounds like he's 100% going to be, the best thing that we can do for Badger football would be to support him and whoever he can try to bring in the transfer portal. That's what would be the best for Badger football.
Yep.
Like it or not, like chanting to fire the coach is not going to make recruits excited to come here.
No, it's a bad look for us.
And it makes it, like you said, it makes us look bad, makes us look like bad fans as well.
Yep.
So
Which we don't stand for that shit over here.
keep it classy and support the team, and we'll see what they can do in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Also, this is our last week without Badgers basketball coverage as well.
Hell yeah.
So
dude.
next week we're going to have only one, unfortunately, one Badger basketball recap. They play Campbell on Monday. So we get a nice little double dose of basketball on Monday with the Badgers and the Bucks. So I'll be dual screening that for sure.
Hell yeah, dude.
But it's basketball season, boy. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I love basketball season. Basketball season usually brings the good holidays like the Thanksgivings and the Christmases and the New Year's. I love those holidays. That trio of holidays, nothing messes with that the entire year. That's the best three run of holidays for the entire year. So I love basketball season. You get kind of into the heart of football season during this time of year as well.
Yep.
This is the best time of the year. This is the prime time of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would be awesome if the Brewers had made it to the World Series and we could have had them all going at once. It would have made us very busy podcasters, but
we would have welcomed it.
Fun.
Yeah, we would have welcomed it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that the Blue Jays won last night, and I hope they win tonight too, because good God, if I have to watch the Dodgers win another World Series, I'll be pissed.
It's going to make if that happens, if the Dodgers win this World Series, we're not going to have a 2027 baseball season.
We will not. And Dave Roberts is going to look like a gigantic jackass, just as who was it? Rudy Gobert looked like when the COVID stuff happened and he was touching all the microphones. Dave Roberts saying, "They're saying we're ruining baseball. Let's ruin it more." Yeah, you look like a dickhead.
Yeah.
Why don't you go coach the Rockies?
With reality.
How about next year you go coach the Rockies, and then we'll see how happy you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that's our show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you guys again next Wednesday. Also, Tuesday night is when we do our Packers show. So if you want to hear us talk about the Packers as well, that'll be Tuesday night. Other than that, we will see you again next Wednesday, and Mike will be back to discuss some Badgers basketball as well. So see you guys next Wednesday. Thanks again for tuning in.
Go Bucks. Go Badgers.